Hey friends, Katie here, and I wanted to make a dedicated video just about our camping trip and what we're packing and how we're going to handle the cold weather at Walt Disney World's Fort Wilderness Campground. So we're leaving this Friday and we're going to be camping throughout the week, and it is the coldest forecast in Florida since 2009. And so I've been watching some of the Facebook groups from the Fort Wilderness fans and camping groups, and a lot of people who are going to be there that same time as we are really worried about what to pack, how to stay warm. There's a lot of debate going on within those groups. So I am not an expert. I have done a lot of winter camping. I shouldn't say a lot. I've done some winter camping up here in the Midwest. And have given some advice to some people, and then we've camped a number of times this time of year in Florida at Fort Wilderness. This is the first time it's going to be this cold. So this forecast that's coming up is the coldest that it's been since 2009. So it will be the coldest that it's ever been while we're camping there. So we are tent camping, and we're going to kind of go through some of my gear that I have packed. I'm going to show you what we have planned to stay warm. And just want to do an in-depth video. Hopefully it can help you guys stay warm as well. Hopefully we're doing things right, because like I said, I'm not an expert when it comes to it, but I am confident going into this. So yeah, let's go through what I've got packed. All right, so I've been staging things over here kind of by the door to pack out to the car. We're not packing the car until it's time to go, because we don't want anything that is in here to freeze, that can freeze. As well as I think Cole said that he was going to try and vacuum the car out before we go. So we have our 2 sleeping bags that are bundled up in their little stuff sacks. I'll take those out at the campground. I don't want to take them out just to show you and put them back. So those are ready to go. I have the REI Base Camp 6. We've taken a smaller tent in the past, which would be easier to heat. However, it is really nice to be able to stand up in the camp or, into your tent. But the waterproofing spray that I used on that tent has gone bad. So we're also bringing along our Easy Up that we picked up from Menards, online super sale. And this was only $30. So if it's going to rain, we can put that over the tent. And then here I have packed, then I have a couple of these nice little sized white tote bins. My dad actually saved these from his work. And then we brought chalk and stuff for, because it's Festival of the Arts. I want to draw on our little camp pad, and then stuff for our bikes, because that's the whole reason why we're driving, is so we can bring our bikes. So we brought along the tire pump, because our tires are flat right now from being out in the cold. And then this heater to help heat up our tent, just as supplemental heat. We've never taken this camping before, so I'm kind of excited to have that and see how it goes. All right, and then in the stuff sack for our tent, there was extra room, so I packed our hammocks, as well as the hammock straps, and our little inflatable, these are backpacking camp pads, which help raise you up off the ground, gives you a little bit of a cushy place to sleep. I like these way better than an air mattress. I think an air mattress has too much air in it, and it gets cold, and then they leak a little, and then you're on the ground by morning anyway. So I'd much prefer one of these. But I also, over here in this big duffel bag, packed my really nice camp pad. And this one has an actual R value rating. R value rating is what they also use to rate insulation for your house. And so it's how warm it can get. So it's filled with foam, and it's supposed to be self-inflating. Mine never really fully self-inflates. But that foam then holds heat. So it warms up and gives you a cushy, warm place to lay down while you're sleeping. And we did bring this old blanket. We've been using it for the dogs for a couple years now, just to put under everything. So this will go under our camp pads and then our sleeping bags on top of that. That way, if you have an arm or a leg that's hanging off of your sleep pad, you're not directly on the ground. This will help insulate you from that and just gives you a nice cushy place to lay. We have some ropes and electrical cords. I do need to grab another extension cord to get a 20-foot cord seems long until you get to the campsite and you're like, man, we got to put the tent like right on top of the stanchion there. And then I also packed just my like heating pad, like a back warmer heating pad to like preheat our sleeping bags before we go to bed at night. I'm not going to sleep with this on. It does have a timer built into it, but just an easy way to like preheat the sleeping bag before you crawl in. A tarp, because those are always nice to have when you're camping. Camp chair, a fan that's a light. Another good Menards find that I found. It's rechargeable. I'm really excited about this little thing, just to help circulate the air in the tent. And then we can also talk some about the clothes that we have packed to stay warm. Lady is always so curious about everything that I've got going on. Oh, and this is just towels. I didn't even know it was going to be in there. Yeah, I packed a couple towels and a couple hand towels. Just nice to have with, since when you're camping at the fort, they don't provide any hotels like towels like a hotel would. So you have to pack your own towels. That's what's in that tote. And that should be about it, other than our, for camping gear. The rest of it will be our clothes and stuff for Disney specifically. I might also grab, I have an old wool blanket from my great-grandma. Wool holds in heat so much better than anything that's polyester or a blend synthetic fabric. And so I do plan on bringing that. I should plan on bringing that because it's going to be cold. So I heard it's gonna be like 26 degrees. So I'll talk a little bit about what I'm wearing to bed and stuff too. Plan on bringing ski socks. So if you wear wool socks to bed, if your feet have any kind of moisture coming off of them, it just sits in that cotton of those socks and makes you even colder. So being wet is one of the worst things that you can do, which is why the cold, humid air is so hard. It's wet. So being wet is really hard to stay warm. And then you want layers. You want to build kind of like pockets of air around you. So anything that's loft, like that air pocket with the foam for my camp pad, lofting you up off the ground, and that's holding heat. That kind of stuff is going to keep you warm. The other thing, I always sleep when it's really cold out. I'll sleep with a hat on, like a stocking cap. So I got to remember to grab one of those and pack them. And then I'll sleep with a vest on, even just like this one, just to help keep your core warm. And long sleeves, even wearing like 2 layers of long sleeves, I think is better than wearing. And if you can get wool, like a merino wool, will help pull that moisture away from your body, keep you nice and dry, and wear that under a sweatshirt. I think keeps you so much warmer because it kind of creates that like bubble of air around you. But make sure your ears don't get cold. If you can keep your toes, your ears, and your fingers warm, the rest of you normally stays warm. So, that's an important part to keep that stuff warm so that, because your body's going to send your blood to your core to keep that warm and sacrifice those others, but then it just sucks the heat right out of you. So, I mean, obviously we've got like our snow pants and stuff hanging right here. I don't think we're going to pack that kind of stuff. We will bring winter coats that we'd wear here at home. It was, 6 degrees out earlier when I went outside, and I just wore a jacket and jeans. So nothing special. I mean, the outfit I have on with a jacket over it, and I was fine going outside and doing things for a little bit. So I'm not too concerned about the weather because we are coming from, it was -20 here the other day. If you watch my other video, I talked about how the cats are inside right now because it was so cold. I didn't even want the cats we have barn cats. I didn't want them outside because the wind chill was like -45. So, I don't know. Here we go. Oh, I forgot to tell you. I also am packing this cooler. You can turn it on its side just like this and use it as like a fridge. Hi, lady. Do you need something? Or you can use it upright as a regular cooler. Hey, get out of there. So you can use it as like a fridge like this, or you can turn it back normal as a normal cooler. But I like having this in the car so we're not buying bottled water and stuff at the gas stations. And we'll have that along with sandwiches and stuff so we're not stopping for fast food. And that'll be our cooler for any leftovers or anything while we're camping. Huh? We did it, right? I'll show you around in just a little bit. Or in a moment. We don't have electricity right now at our site, and it's supposed to be like 23 degrees here soon. Wind chill of 8 degrees, so we'd really like some electricity, plus to be able to charge our stuff. So I'm gonna take care of that, and hopefully I'll give you a tour in a little bit. For right now, I'm gonna put the camera away so I can figure out the electric. So I'll let you know what happens. Great news, we have electric. So I called the guest services just right from the app, and they sent over a guy. He was here, I don't know how long, I didn't time it, maybe should have. Relatively quick, but I was able to kind of finish organizing a few things and decorate one tree. So I have a whole bucket of Christmas lights left from other Christmas projects, and so I strung up a little thing of garland on some rope and our little banner there. So I'll show you around and what we've got going on in our tent so you can see our cold weather setup. So we like to use a hammock rainfly over our rope to dry our towels. That way condensation or dew doesn't settle on our towels overnight and just keep getting them wet. So that's a good way to dry your towels. We have our bicycles ready to go. They do need a bath, not only from being in storage, but the drive down here in Salt. Our car really needs a bath too. 2 hammocks with some perfect hammock trees back there so we can sit together. And then I'll show you what is in our tent. So we did stop at Target and pick up new pillows. We need new pillows anyways for our guest bedroom. So we forgot to pack those. I can already feel that heater putting off heat in here. We have nice big fluffy sleeping bags. I do have a winter rated sleeping bag that's like a big Agnes that the sleeping pad slips into the bag itself. And I don't know. It's not as comfortable of a bag for me because it's a mummy bag, and I like this one that has more foot room. We put an old comforter down underneath everything, and then our camp pads and a heating pad there. And you can see camp pad under that sleeping bag. So lofting yourself off of the ground is just as important, if not more important, than the thickness of your sleeping bags. So, and then we just kind of line the outside of our tent with our bags and gear for the week. We do have a refillable mugs. We're hoping they can just renew those. They're from last year. I hate collecting plastic things in our kitchen, and I don't want them to just go to a landfill, and nobody buys them when you donate them to Goodwill. So I'm hoping they'll just reactivate. In the bottom, for those of you who don't know, these are the magic refill cups at Walt Disney World. They're $21.95 or something like that. And the bottom of them is an RFD chip. When you put it on the soda refill fountain, it registers saying it's an active cup, and then you can use the soda and you get free refills at all of the resorts for the entire of your stay. It actually activates it usually for 14 days, no matter how long your stay is for. So these ones are obviously expired. I just don't want to be wasteful. When we can, like, these probably still work. The RFD chips are usually fine. And so hopefully they'll reactivate those. And then we do bring some rugs. My grandpa had made these for at the doorway, just so we have something nice to step on when you take your shoes off at the door. So that's it. That's our setup. Should be nice and toasty warm. I do have a fan in here for days that are hotter. It's a battery operated, rechargeable. And then I have a solar light up top there. So yeah, for those of you who are interested. And then this is my great grandma's wool blanket. That's just an extra blanket on top. Wool is so insulating for a top layer. That's the one that I patched last week I washed it and there's a little hole in it, so a little tear. So I patched that just with some needle and thread, and so that is kind of our top layer just in case it gets cold. I forgot to mention why there's an easy up tent over our actual tent. The waterproofing on this tent has gone bad. I did buy a better quality brand of waterproofing. I tried waterproofing it last summer and it didn't take. It still leaked some. It's not supposed to rain this week, but the dew that settles down and collects on will still drip through. So that's why we have that above it. Plus it should help keep or hold the heat down into the tent. It has a reflective bottom on it. So that's why the easy up tent is over our tent. Normally I wouldn't do that. It's just this tent leaks. So I don't really know what to do about it because those tents are really expensive now. I actually saved up my lawn mowing money when I was in college to buy this tent. I love this tent. I just don't know how. I tried emailing REI to see if they made replacement rain flies for it because my tent itself is fine and they don't sell them separately. So if any of you know anything about waterproofing a rain fly, I'd love to hear, and I can show you what I bought to waterproof it. I hope it works. So this is what I picked up. It came really highly recommended, and I was able to pick it up on Amazon. So I'm going to try doing that when it's not so windy out. I would do it now, but it's just too windy. And then we bought a bunch of sidewalk chalk to give out to our neighbors and kiddos here at the fort so that they can do Festival of the Arts here at the Fort Wilderness. So, and then I have nicer chalk down below because I want to try doing chalk drawing. I've been wanting to do it for years and I've never taken the time. I actually really like doing art, just never spend the time doing it. So I'm hoping to do some this week out here on our little parking pad. Ooh, wow.